of course. So we are the European Crowdfunding Network. We are an international non-profit registered in Belgium. We represent European crowdfunding platforms of all types, so that's donations, reward-based, equity and debt. We've incorporated earlier this year in 2013, but we founded actually with the idea already in late 2011 and reached out with platforms across Europe since then. And we're building a network to represent the industry in Brussels as well as on national level. Well, I think this is a very exciting day because the French Ministry of Economic Affairs is putting its stamp on crowdfunding, and it's potentially even making an announcement as to what we can expect in future changes within French law. So it will definitely put a mark on the French market, and it will also signal to other European countries that there is an industry emerging that needs support also on the highest political level. France, you mean? No, I think there's other countries as well. They might not just be as proactive in their political announcements, but we see strong developments in the UK as well as in Austria. We already have a crowdfunding law in Italy, and we have other regulators and politicians that they monitor the market without making open statements yet and wait a little bit more how the industry develops. But France can take one of these lead roles, definitely. Well, we have two sides to our work. One is, of course, to raise the discussion on the policy level. So that is basically in Brussels as well in national member states where we can be of help. We've done that quite successfully. So since we started and submitted our first papers and entered negotiations, the Commission has actually made public announcements to the support of crowdfunding and organized with DG Markt a large conference on the topic of crowdfunding, in which we played a key role in supporting them. Our other role is, of course, to also educate crowdfunding platforms that there is no scale for them to be reached in Europe without a central voice in Brussels. And so we need to operate on both levels. And this is our main activity right now. We refrain from making specific recommendations at this point because policymakers in Brussels, as in most member states, do not yet know enough about crowdfunding to make actual decisions in changing the law. I see crowdfunding to be much more what we have today. I think we have very exciting platforms and very exciting projects today, but if it develops in a good way, we will see crowdfunding to be part of, I would say, every major business sector that we know as a new way of raising support, communicating, and then even distributing products and services. So I hope that crowdfunding can establish itself way beyond crowdfunding platforms and small projects. But for now, I'm very happy where we are and the way it is going. By the way, crowdfunding, if the estimate is right, supports with roughly 1 billion euros in Europe in all types of crowdfunding models, nearly as much as all venture capital in early stage investments. That is 1.5 billion. So the market is already very, very big in creating jobs and promoting economic growth in Europe. Maybe I think one of the key issues the crowdfunding industry as it is today has to address as an industry, so jointly, is the question of data provision and transparency. Crowdfunding addresses retail investors, retail consumers with a potentially risky offering. And there's a lot of concern in consumer organizations, consumer protection organizations and regulators about misuse. And that can be addressed by being transparent. There are industries like the microfinance industries where transparency is held very high. And I think we could, as an industry, learn from that. And we should, as an industry, jointly act across Europe to implement a solution to provide the data. So this is my comment that you didn't ask.